Hi, my name is Daniel Veek and I'm the lead shop foreman for Fletcher Jones Imports here in beautiful Las Vegas. Today I'll be demonstrating a feature that is very common on all of our AMG vehicles. It is a feature we like to call Race Start, a feature that is misunderstood and a lot of times needed to be explained by clients that bring the vehicles into the service department. It is a feature that is a thoroughbred part of the AMG racing technology, helps the car get off the line faster using the transmission, engine, and traction systems in unison to be able to provide power to the wheels and get the most traction out of the vehicle as possible to get you off the line. We'll go inside the vehicle and I'll go over some of the parameters that are basically necessary to be able to make this feature activate and some of the precautions that we'll be talking about before we try using this feature. Now, first and foremost, there's one thing I want to explain about these AMG vehicles. The AMG vehicle is a one-man, one-engine building principle, and with that comes a lot of racing technology. Internals in the engine include forged pistons, forged connecting rods, and such. And in this case, it's very important to understand that the vehicle does have a break-in period of 1,000 miles. The break-in period on all AMG vehicles is displayed and explained on the windshield at the top left here. Basically, if you go over what it states here, you do not want to rev the engine above 4,500 RPMs, meaning engine rotation, within the first 1,000 miles of ownership, and you do not want to perform any kickdown accelerations. With that being said, due to the forged internals in the engine, you do not want to attempt this race start feature during the first 1,000 miles of ownership of the vehicle. In the service department, we deal with the service engineering group. If an AMG engine were to fail, there's something that they require from us called freeze frame data, which is basically an actual value display set of what happened inside the engine at the time of an engine failure. Now, on the AMG Race Start mode, there's two different variations that we see present in our vehicles nowadays. One variation would be the vehicles that have this rotary knob, which is called the AMG drive unit. The newer vehicles where the paddle shifters up and down would be used to engage the actual Race Start mode. This being a 2016 CLS 63S, still uses the older style rotary knob. This knob is found also on the SLS, the E63, and some of the older C-Class variants. If you have this rotary knob, the instructions I'm about to give will work on every vehicle with the rotary style AMG drive unit. The following parameters need to be met in order to have Race Start enabled. Number one, the steering wheel should be in a straight ahead position. Number two, you must use your 2 feet. Left foot will be used to actuate the brake pedal, and the right foot will be kept available to actuate the gas pedal once we're inside the actual Race Start mode. The ESP system, which is our electronic stability program, must be in sport mode. Now, there's a button on the center console that turns the ESP system off. On the systems that have the dedicated button, holding the button for 3 seconds will completely turn the system off. Race Start will not actuate if the ESP system is completely turned off. By lightly pressing the button once, it will put the system in what we call ESP Sport mode, and that is a mode that the vehicle needs to be in for Race Start to happen. So by pressing this button once, you will see a little sport designation in the instrument cluster, and that will basically indicate that your ESP system is in the correct mode. The fourth thing is you must select the RS transmission mode on the rotary AMG drive system knob. Now what we're going to do is we're going to slowly turn this rotary knob till the RS lights up. Now when I do that and I get to that RS, you're going to have a question that's going to come up in the multifunction display in the middle of the cluster. And the question is basically going to be a confirmation on whether you wanted to do this or you don't. So if you want to do this, once you see the question, you're going to press the right upshift paddle, which tells the system you intentionally are trying to do this. Here's the question that we get. I'm going to confirm it with the right paddle. The wet clutch is now in an open state. It's in neutral. I give it all the gas. And at that point, I would release the brake and the car would race start. So now we are in a 2016 C63S, and this vehicle does not have a AMG drive unit like the CLS or some of the older vehicles have, which is a rotary knob. We call that the drive unit. This vehicle actually uses that dynamic select system, And on this vehicle, it's much easier to put the car in a race start mode due to the fact that there's no drive unit that you have to go down to RS. On the vehicle, basically you have to meet all the parameters just like the other vehicle we just mentioned. But in order to put this one into race start, once you're in drive, you will just hold both paddle shifters for a few seconds, and then you will get the confirmation question about the race start. So once again, now we're in a 2016 C63S, and earlier we showed what the fluid temperatures look like when they're cold, they're blue. We now have this vehicle up to operating temperature on all the fluids. And one of the things I did want to bring up is we have some clients that drive the CLA 45 and the GLA 45. Both those vehicles are very unique due to the fact that they use our 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. And the other reason they're very unique is that those are the only vehicles that have to be in manual mode on the transmission for you to be able to engage race start. Now, once again, all the other parameters are the same. Traction control has to be in ESP Sport mode. Like I said, the CLA and GLA have to be in manual mode before it'll let you hold the paddle shifters and get it into race start. On this vehicle, which is a C63S, the only parameter that really needs to be met is you cannot be in comfort mode on the actual transmission dynamic select mode. So right now we're in comfort mode, and that's indicated by the little C. If I were to hold both paddle shifters, which usually would engage race start on this vehicle, nothing will happen. And once again, it frustrates a lot of clients that I talk to because they don't know why they can't engage race start. It won't give you what parameter was missed or not met. On this vehicle, obviously it's not doing race start, and it doesn't tell you why. I'm here to tell you that if it's in comfort mode, this vehicle will not race start. So if you own a C63S or any of the other vehicles that are now coming with the dynamic select system, you will have to be in one of the other modes besides comfort. So here we have comfort, there's sport, sport plus, and race. So any mode other than comfort will work. So here we are in sport. On this vehicle, we do have a traction control sport and off mode. That does not have to be met on this vehicle due to it's got the dynamic select system. On this vehicle, once you meet the parameters for the operating temperatures of the fluid, you have the seat belt on, driver's door is closed, the hood is closed, and all the other parameters that were aforementioned are met. The traction control is the only one that changes on this vehicle because you don't need to be in ESP Sport mode. On this one, once again, you cannot be in comfort mode. You have to be in sport or any of the other modes. Once you're there, once again, we're going to switch our feet so the left foot is available for the brake. The right foot is available and dedicated to the gas. This vehicle, instead of turning the rotary knob, we're just going to hold the paddle shifters. And once we hit them both in unison, we're going to get the actual race start confirmation screen. Once again, if you hit the right up shift paddle, it's going to confirm that you want to do it. If you let it go or hit the left downshift paddle, it's going to cancel your race start. And that's what that would look like. So I'm going to demonstrate a race start on the C63S. We're in sport mode. All the parameters are met. I'm going to hold both paddles. I'm going to confirm it with the right paddle. And once I do that, once again, left foot is on the brake, right foot all the way down to the floor. And once you're ready, you're just going to release off the brake and the car is going to take off.